Minister of Citizenship and Immigration, John McCallum, recently announced that he is going to be increasing the number of immigrants coming in, and they're going to be from the family class. So we have with us Ruby Sahota, who is the MP for Brampton North. Welcome to the studio, Ruby.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me here.
Ruby, we want to hear from you. From the previous party, the focus was really on getting economic immigrants and really boosting the economy. But now the focus has changed from that to having more family-oriented immigrants who are children, grandparents, and that kind of and spouses mainly, and really shortening that integration period. So tell us, why has that been important for the party?
Well, overall, we're increasing to a historic amount the amount of immigrants we're going to be bringing in this coming few years. So there will be immigration from all categories. I do want to clarify that. There will still be economic immigrants. Spouses end up being economic immigrants many times. Right. I mean, we all know that it takes a whole house, two partners at times to run a household. So it's not to say that we aren't focused on economic immigrants, but the need and what I hear day to day and what comes through my office is mostly, my aging parents are all by themselves and they have no one to care for them. I'm here and I'm working and I'm raising my children here, and I'd like to, see them in their last few years or whatnot. So. And also people who are getting married, it's taking an increasingly long period of time for them to bring the spouse over. I've got people in my office with children that are 2-3 years old, and they're missing one parent out of the picture. So if we can only imagine not being able to have your wife or your husband there during the time of delivery or other things, this is causing a lot of conflict in families and making it really hard for people.
So this is really kind of thinking empathetically for the population in general. And obviously, like you said, would it put a strain on the economy or the Canadians who have been working hard for their retirement, for the baby boomers? What does it mean?
Well, when people know that, they can settle here and they have a long-term future here, they tend to invest more in our country. They tend to, both spouses end up oftentimes working. That was the case in my family. My parents both always worked. I don't think that it is a strain on the economy. It is good for our economy for us to make sure that we provide the basic needs to make sure that our people are successful here and thrive in every area of their life. So I think it's a great thing, and it's what the Liberal Party has always was promised in our platform, and it's something that we intend on carrying through.
But so when it comes to, I think it's great that you are increasing, in terms of immigrants like the elderly, and it is more of a compassionate thing to do. But there is also a decrease in economic immigrants to offset that. But don't you find that with the baby boomers, they will be retiring soon, and this influx of elderly immigrants, wouldn't that put a burden on our healthcare system? So how would you offset that cost?
Well, we also have a lot of people coming in on student visas, and those are being granted PR status. We've also decreased the amount of time it takes for those people that are already, economically involved in our country, whether they be on temporary work permits or student visas, or for any other reason that they're here on a temporary visa. We're making sure that we apply that time as well towards the time they need to be here for citizenship, because we want to make sure we keep those people here. People that are educated under the Canadian system, those are the people we want to make sure they stay, they don't get our education and leave, but end up contributing in our economy. So I think all those things balance out.
But from the healthcare perspective, are you going to be changing certain rules to integrate more nurses, more healthcare practitioners? Would there be changes?
I mean, for a long time, the federal government also stopped the credit transfers to the provinces for healthcare. So that's something that we are reinstating, and we do care about making sure that our hospitals are well funded from the federal level. Yes, of course.
So you had mentioned bringing in economic immigrants, and what amenities are being made as far as having overseas degrees being accepted here? Are there anything, because you often see immigrants come who are educated in their respective countries, they come here, they can't find a job in their field. Simultaneously, hand in hand, don't you think there should be adjustments made in that that respect to make it easier for those economic immigrants to integrate and work in their fields?
Absolutely. You know, it's something I am an advocate for. I see it, and it's, you know, it's really sad, and when we get back to that empathy thing, it's very sad to see people that, you know, they're not being able to practice in their own field. However, it's a very, very complicated issue. Oftentimes people come from countries where, you know, we need an international system in place. I was just talking to somebody today where we can recognize certain bodies and certain schools, but some countries have thousands and like hundreds of thousands of schools popping up, and by the minute and by the day, so it's very hard for us to be able to figure out, you know, what's a valid education and what isn't. So I think there is, you know, some work to be done in that area, and it's definitely a focus, and I will keep speaking up on it. There is a lot of work to be done in that area, that's all I can say, and it's something that we've been talking about.
Well, there's definitely a lot of questions that we still have, but thanks for answering the ones that we did ask. But thank you so much, Ruby, and good luck to you in making sure that our community is supported and represented and is a happier community. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on, and if we want to answer those questions at another time sometime, I'd love to come on.
Absolutely. Stay tuned. We'll be back after this break.
We're quick to say, okay, this person is making me feel that. No one is making you anything. Let's get that out on the table.
We have with us a very well-known health advocate in our community, Dr. Shafiq Qadri, also known as Dr. Q. Welcome to the studio.
Thank you, Surbi, and thanks to Huma and Sunny for inviting me.
Doctor, first thing we want to know, and this is something that is also named as a global epidemic.
Sure.
The fact that for South Asians, heart disease is on widespread. The numbers say it.
Sure.
And are they improving?
You're absolutely right, Surbi, because I think we really need to get the message out. Basically, with due apologies for the language, I have to tell you, South Asians are doomed. If they do not take care of themselves, go and get the appropriate blood checkups, probably for sure by age 40, but I'd even say earlier, because more and more patients are getting these problems early and early, and it's very, very sad.
So this is common in their country of origin,
Yes.
but when they come to Canada, does that level change, or is there reason for it?
It actually gets worse for many reasons. They have more stress here. They will have more opportunity to eat. For example, the mithai stores that are all over the city of Toronto and Mississauga, doctors actually call those